Government corruption has never been more prevalent or caused more harm. It's why extremism is on the rise. It's why the financial gap between the haves and have-nots has never been wider. And it's why our planet is at risk of an extinction level tragedy. That's why I need your help to keep exposing the truth about the rot on both sides of the aisle. Become a supporter or a friend of the show today by clicking on the coffee link in the description box below. Friends of the show join me on a Zoom hangout once a month, and you guys can ask me any questions you want, and I can get to know you better. But the most important reason to help is to keep the show alive. Together, we can and will save our country and our planet. Thanks in advance and enjoy the show. Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. I have an update to share about one of Trump's Capitol insurrectionists. It's time for an episode of Where Are They Now?
Matthew Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
So 56-year-old Utah resident Janet Buhler was seen in photos and videos inside the Capitol. She was with her stepson-in-law, who is a former police officer, Michael Hardin. Buhler was also seen inside the Senate gallery briefly, and prosecutors say that she cheered as others were breaking into the Capitol. So Buhler deleted her photos from January 6th, although she claims that she did so because she didn't look good in the pictures, not because she was trying to get rid of evidence. So Buhler was arrested on July 30th of last year. She was charged with only 5 misdemeanors at the time for some reason: entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and entering the gallery of Congress, as well as parading or demonstrating in a Capitol. I find this odd because, and maybe even sexist, because the others who entered the Senate gallery were all charged, or I believe almost all of them were charged with the felony of obstructing an official proceeding. And they've all been men. So I don't know why she wasn't hit with that. But anyway, Buhler ended up taking a plea deal in January of this year. She pleaded guilty to the parading charge only. That's also a departure for someone who entered Congress. And she was facing up to 6 months in jail, up to 5 years of probation, and up to $5,000 in fines. Now, her stepson-in-law received a completely BS sentence of probation only. But the prosecutor said that they believe Buhler deserved some time behind bars due to the fact that, number one, she entered the Senate, but also because she witnessed others breaking glass. She heard the alarms blaring. She witnessed threats being made against officers, and yet she was cheering. Buhler's attorney, on the other hand, asked for a lesser sentence than Hardin. And Buhler claimed to be remorseful in a letter that she read to the court. She stated in that letter, quote, "I would like to say that I am truly sorry that you are all here today. Not only do I regret going into the U.S. Capitol on January 6th, but I should not have gone on the trip to Washington, D.C. at all. I should have made my own decisions and trusted my own instincts. But instead, I walked with the horde. My intentions were never malicious or destructive. If I could do it all over again, I would have insisted on doing what I had planned that day, which did not involve going into the Capitol. I am shameful to say this has become a defining moment in my life, and this is not what I want to be defined for. I have such a sense of remorse and guilt and disappointment. I would undo that day if I could. I feel shame, remorse, guilt, and disappointment." Buhler went on to say that it was, quote, "one of the worst decisions that she had ever made." And she explained that it had upset her family and friends, especially her husband and children. And she also said that she deserved to be punished for the crime. And then she ended her remarks by saying, quote, "this has been pure hell." That's a far cry, though, from her remarks at her plea hearing. She kind of, at the plea hearing, tried to downplay her actions that day. She said that she just wanted to see the Capitol, and the only reason she went into the building was to make sure that Hardin didn't get into trouble, because she said he could be a little hot-headed. U.S. District Judge Colleen Kolar-Cotelli presided over this case, And she called Buhler out on that BS at the plea hearing. She got Buhler to admit that she was there because she disagreed with the election results. And then at the sentencing hearing, the judge said, quote, "This is a serious offense." And she also pointed out that Buhler watched as rioters were crushing officers. And Judge Cotelli said, quote, "Buhler cheered and applauded when the rioters broke through the East Rotunda doors. This certainly would have encouraged and egged on the rioters." However, the judge also conceded that this was out of character for Buhler. She said, quote, "You're obviously intelligent, you're creative, you're successful." And the judge noted that Buhler has lived a, quote, "life otherwise marked by grace and kindness." Evidently, that's because she's used her sewing skills to help the homeless. And Judge Cotelli felt that she was a bit more optimistic at the sentencing hearing, that Buhler maybe finally understood how her actions contributed to what overall took place on January 6th. However, the judge said that she wasn't bound by the sentence given to Hardin, which happened to have come from another judge, by the way. And so with that, she sentenced Buhler to 30 days in jail, followed by 3 years of probation. And then Buhler was also ordered to pay a $10 fine and a $500 restitution fee. So enough? No. She may be a good person in other ways, but as I mentioned, almost all other defendants who entered the Senate chamber were given far more time behind bars. So this was a pretty weak sentence, especially for Judge Cotelli. I'm actually disappointed in this decision from this judge. She has been one of the tougher ones. But then again, on the flip side, I consider what Trump's puppets like McFadden and Friedrich would have done in this same scenario. And compared to them, it's pretty damn tough. I guess we got to take what we can get, right? Let's just hope that this scared her straight, that she's going to pull it together, and this will be the last time she will pull this crap. And she will be on probation during the next presidential election. So that's one good thing. Anyway, guys, if I hear any more on this, I'll let you know. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care. I'll talk with you soon.